All right, AKA Patterson. Oh, we got that gnarly red light. What is happening? It's me, your AKA Daddy. Oh, I feel like it's been forever since I sat down with all of you. Look, these I don't like doing these 11 o'clock streams, mostly because I'm just downright completely exhausted by the end of these streams. But the show must go on. I have shipping that's held up. I have Indiegogos that are held up. I have client work that is held up, both illustration and design. But cheers to all of you. Thanks for hanging out. I know a lot of you drop in later through Facebook, YouTube, and the Twitter, and I thank you for that. The views, the constant attention, people, it fuels my fire, it gets me going, and it marches me to my next step. And what is my next step? My next step is always when I sit down to create, when I sit down to do the work, that's exactly what it is to me. Okay? It's just work. So having some extra motivation to get through the work, it just helps. It helps a ton. And right right here, right now, we're drawing the epic Wildcat, which was like when I kind of found, I don't know, I mean, a couple years ago, a lot of people just seemed to find themselves on Twitter. And it was really kind of just like a very, I hate to say it, but it was just like a little bit magical. A little bit magical, a lot of fun. But all these people found themselves. And this is one of the projects that I don't know, I was just drawn to it. I love the character. The character's name is Wildcat. CV Smallwood, go look him up. He's the guy behind this. We're involved with like a Facebook group. We're creating this anthology. I did artwork. I'm pretty sure you can go to my website. You can go to my website, check out. I believe it's comic book art. It's under draw. It's a drop down, but you'll see my illustration of Wildcat there. Fully penciled, inked, and colored by myself. But Wildcat's really 100% a throwback character. It's a '90s throwback character. Looks like he's from the '90s. Acts like he's from the '90s. Like all this stuff. And when I entered into Twitter, and I really feel like I really feel like it's been 2 years since I've had a Twitter, even though I had a Twitter account for such a long time. I never really used it. Well, now I'm using it. We're growing this little community. The AKA Tide Army is marching along, and it's nothing but a ton of fun. So all of you, thank you so much. We're trying to draw with some shades here to make it look cool, but we have a very '90s panel here. And we're trying to kind of smash as much into this panel here as possible. And by that I mean, look, one of the tropes for '90s artwork that I think a lot of people miss is the ability for a lot of '90s artists to smash a lot into thin panels, mostly vertical. And that's something that I grew up with, and it always stuck out to me. It always stuck out as one of the methods. And yeah, look, these things are so, some of it's a lot easier when you are digital. But we're not digital here, as you can tell. We're analog. Yeah, Doris. I was going to message you. I when I was prepping for this, just because I've been doing so much, I saw that you were on Pop Van Zandt with the quaff. And I love it. It's like you're two of my favorite people. I was trying to get the quaff onto a I did a little experiment and I was trying to get more people involved. And a lot of people weren't interested, but I was trying to do a uh 30 questions to change your life show. And I was going to get the quaff on, and we just had a scheduling mishap, complete scheduling debacle. But that was awesome. You were on with him. I watched it for like a couple minutes, but I had to start prepping and then do get this ready. But hey, thanks for hanging out. Yeah, okay, yeah. It's like it was just so funny. I was just because look, I try and track what everyone's doing, and I've been trying to get a little bit better with at least popping into some of the chats and stuff. But it's tough sometimes, and I just wish I could do like automated messages. But it was so freaking cool to see it. And look, right here we're drawing CB Smallwood's. Um, this is his anthology. We have some layouts here. I believe I'm on the hook. So this is what we were designing last week. We were doing some of the character designs for this. But we have a couple layouts here. I am up to, and this is how I draw and write at the same time. And I'm pretty sure I'm on the hook for 6 pages. I think it's six. Maybe it's eight. I think he told me eight. And I kind of was out of ideas over here. But we got this babe. This is this is going to be Hellraiser here, fully breasted, naked, as that's how we like things. Actually, within these couple pages, there's a good amount of nakedness and banging because we have two teenagers banging here. Well, after the fact, they're post banging. Yeah, and just a little bit of insight for anyone tuning in. This is what your boy here. I am very dedicated to layouts. I like full layouts. I like having things figured out, like fully visualized before I hit the final page, because it does help. And look, see, we have more layouts here. This will be drawn very soon, so be on the lookout for social media. Just I'm gonna let the creator of this do the updates. Look, I can't. I do enough updates with my own projects. When I'm involved with someone else's projects, I I need some help. Well, it's and it also I think it confuses a bit of my feed. But yes, so rad, rocking and rolling. Yeah, we're doing it, and we got some. We're not drinking tonight, and you know why? Because I only have 2 beers left in the fridge. But we got some nice iced coffee, and I don't know about you, but I like to do the metal mugs. I'm big on the metal mugs. But yeah, so I don't know. I'm trying to figure this out. Like I'm not really feeling this page yet. And excuse me, I just ate a ton of food too, and I feel like garbage because I haven't worked out in 2 days. Just sucks. Yeah, so yeah, pot of tea, green tea all the way. You know what I've been doing? I've been buying elderberry packets, and I've been making pitchers of tea, green tea with elderberry, and that like for the immune system boost. I do everything I can to optimize as much as as much as possible. Like meaning, like I just don't want to drink tea. I want to drink tea and have other things happen, stuff like that. Save time, get strong, get powerful. Yeah. So this and what we're seeing here is, this is where like I should start inching away at the pencils. Like this is a It's a back and forth battle. Whenever I pencil, I really feel like it's a fucking fight. It's like I like me versus the entire world, type of stuff. Because penciling, it's just endless micro decisions, and you just play with the shapes, you play with the line weights, you really try and get the right balance while telling a story, like all these other things that involve comic books. But yeah, so we're getting things done, and this is exciting, even though I am like a month late on starting this. But I got like a run of design work, like legit. Some people needed some trade dresses. Grok Comics needed work. Mark Poulton from U.S. Assassin needed work. And look, just when it comes to timing and scheduling, I don't have time to really do anything. I don't even have time to do this. But you make the time and you do it. So even when people even reach out to me and they need help, I just put myself in their shoes, which is sometimes like you need a contractor that you can trust. And I know how difficult it is to get that, to find that. It's one of the hardest things when it comes to not just making comics. I think it's living life. Getting contractors that you can depend on. It's very difficult. See, I'm not liking any of it. I'm spending too much time looking at that, looking at the layout. Yeah, see, I don't like that at all. I think his face needs to be turned a little. I don't like his eyes. I don't like anything about his head here. So a little bit to like just to run through a little bit of the intention, and maybe we can, maybe we can go bigger, right? Like go here. Oh, why we're still stuck on red, but yes, we're getting pods. Hey, so Wildcats blazing through the night sky. He passes a '90s moon, crashes into a cabin, and then basically we're picking up where there's just like a fight. He's fighting someone. He's going to be fighting Hellraiser, and we're just kind of like picking up the adventure, just right in the middle. Yeah, see, getting some of this because I kind of see. I don't even have. See, I'm just trying to really figure. I mean, this is where. Like this is just where it just gets painful. See, I try and keep everything away from a twin shot where it's just like even because like I'd rather focus on forms, and I just think when I focus on forms, that opens up like a little bit more of an opportunity to render, like like kind of getting shapes down and that sort of thing. Yeah, it's a little bit more pleasing. It looks more realistic. But here we go. I was kind of, and when I was going through the live streams earlier, I kind of like, I don't want to, I really don't want to call people out, but I really feel like there's not enough people out there that focus on comic book layouts. That's just the one gap that I see. Like everyone's so anxious to get to the products for the like campaigns and the incentives and like all this stuff that means nothing. And I don't see a lot of pages that I see a lot of artwork that's phenomenal, but I don't see a lot of pages that look like that they're like within a story. I don't know. Like I could be a little, maybe I'm being too picky. Maybe I'm being a little too competitive. But I don't know. Layouts are key. And that's the only thing you need to do to write a comic. Even if you're a writer, if you can nail down like the visual language of comics as a writer, if you can lay out your story, even like using stick figures and whatever, and if you can just you can hand that off to a more capable artist, and that's it, and your artist will be thankful to get that from you. And by artist, I just mean penciler. I don't mean like, when it comes to comics, I use the term art very loosely. So this is getting a little bit there. Like, do we need? I think we need to kind of, right? I really would just like want one of these to be red. I just think it's cool. But yeah, let's get to the drawing. Let's do that. Let's kick my ugly mug. Goodbye, ugly mug. Glasses are off. Every single week too. I get more and more into the idea of hanging out and doing sketchbook work. I really think that's what Monday Night Drawing Call should be all about. But it's tough sometimes because I always a day late and a buck short with assignments. Yeah, so this page I wanted to just show off the hero as best I could. So the idea was, look, I gotta show that he's like somewhat invincible. So he's like, again, he flies like, throughout the night sky, crashes through this barn, and is somewhat, like he's not broken. But it always feels good to get into a page when a page has been in your head for quite some time, as this page has. And we're getting a nice run of that fall rain here in Philly the last like 2 days, which is fine. Which is yes, yeah, yes, Doris, very true. But yeah, so like I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much. See, like even here, I'm trying to Like you kind of go back and forth. You try and get the forms in order. And he's got fanged teeth, so which is very very appropriate if your name is a wildcat. And I wrote to him to be a little bit more like comedic. He's a he's more of a almost like a Hellboy. But I guess I'm just thinking. I'm pretty sure this is. It's gonna have to be 8 pages. But I'm pretty and I I have to double check. But I think CB said black and white, which is going to be a huge gift for me on my end. And we will draw our hero already kind of like battered, a little bit bloodied for sure because we are picking this story up right in the middle. And it has there's a pretty good zombie hook for this. It's kind of like a play on the zombie mythology to some degree. But that's all you need. Like if you're trying to build out yourself to grow just as a like amateur, like not professional, not pro, and you really need people to test your product with and kind of be a little bit a part of a like focus group. Like that's one of the power of the internet and Twitter and whatever is you can find people to help you with that. As long as you're making the product, as long as you are dedicated to completing the project. Oh, what's up, John? Yes. Newman and Jeff. Yeah, look, here's the funny thing, John. I have um some sketch work from Jeff Matsuda, and I thought I had it framed. I don't know what happened to it, but believe it or not, I believe it's like Cyberforce. It's a couple Cyberforce characters, and I bought them off eBay forever ago, and I lost track of them. But it's because he never like officially drew Cyberfog. But yeah, Newman, very cool. Why is right like Newman is Newman a an upcoming reference or comparison? I assume it is. I hate that this is the bottom of the page too. But see, like I'm squeezing him in here, and like the idea is that he's maybe like pushing himself like off the ground because he literally in this panel like we're going to have him. He's going to just like crash through this like ceiling, and he's just going to be like, I guess this is going to be like he's going to be torn up, but he's not going to be disheveled. Like he's within a fight. But yeah, see, like we kind of have this, and he will have a top side body, like really wide up front, small in the middle. And the problem with this bottom panel, which is this is where like the one decent drawing tip here is that you have to draw through what you're doing. So here, like even though we have a panel here, like I still have to draw all of his brow just so the piece of the panel that it cuts off, you know, it's looking legit, it's looking real. Yeah, exit. Yeah, what do we got here? Yeah, dude, like Cody, dude, where is it? Hold up here. Oh, let me see if I can find something real quick. I'm only gonna give myself a couple seconds. I cannot find it. I just do not have. It's almost like I'm so bad when I go through my stuff. I am so. Oh, here it is. Look. So here we go. Look. John, you got to check this out. Talking about Kodiak, right? It's so funny you say Kodiak because we got Extreme Sacrifice here, right? We all know this story. If you guys want to see me go through this, because I know this by heart, let me know in the comments. I'll do a live stream where we hang out and talk Extreme Sacrifice. But the back here is my absolute most favorite image of Kodiak. But look at his size. Like, I want to say this is the only time Kodiak is rendered at this level, at his size, right? Because, like, there's Dash. I mean, look at the difference. I love it. I go on record. I say this is one of Liefeld's absolute best layouts when it comes to a cover. Liefeld, you gotta give him props for nailing. Very good with collages. But yeah, so we have our hero here. Just getting thrown, like he's just tossed for like miles. But yeah, I try and do like I try and keep everything at a very like energy driven level. Yeah, like I just try and crank it up because I don't like I think there was for so long like post 90s, right? So we go into like the early 2000s and stuff. It was the rejection of the 90s with the 2000 editorial standards that DC and Marvel both had, and the erosion of Image Comics. There was like this rejection of this 90s style. And I just feel like there was a big run in comics where nothing had energy, nothing was fun. And I don't know. I always said like that's a part of what got me back into drawing. Is I just said like, oh, like fuck it, man. Like like draw the book you want, and then along the way, you collab and you work with people and you meet new people. Yeah. Thanks, John. That means a lot, dude. Thank you. See, look. You're awesome. And then over here we have we have a pot of tea. Pot of tea. You're awesome. Pot of tea. You're awesome. I don't know. I don't know which one you guys would go for. But no, like, and that's always my objective. My objective is, like, I put the artwork first. I put the imagery, I put the ideas within the artwork. Like, that's my focus. And then I kind of trust everything else to come from that. And a lot of that too is being like a child of the 90s, that like these are the conversations I would have in my head when I read Wizard comics, when I went to the comic shop to buy Image. It's like, like you saw the writing on the wall early, even if you were younger. Like you saw the need of writing for those books. And you always said to yourself, like, oh, if only they did this, if only they did that. And when you look back on hindsight, they actually did do a lot when it comes to writing. But you were somewhat like programmed to believe that Extreme didn't have good writing and McFarlane didn't have good, like, it makes no sense when you look at those books. Makes no sense. Like, you can't tell me that McFarlane didn't put writing first when not even 2 years into his flagship title, Spawn. I mean, he already hired Frank Miller, Alan Moore, Dave Sim. I mean, Spawn somewhat was born after he knew it was a success, but Spawn was born as a writer's book. And I know that's an unpopular opinion. But I always like to draw my heroes in like true danger. I never like to kind of draw them in these typical hero shots. I like them to look bloody, gnarly. Like I want them to feel used. And I think you guys deserve to see that. Because I even think comic book artwork now it's so sterile. Is it just me? But it does seem just I don't know. It just seems like it doesn't swing for the fences like it used to. There we go. All right. So I think we're getting somewhere. I think we're getting somewhere with this. And this is even, these are not even my penciling erasers. These are my inking erasers. And I'm just grabbing like the first thing. Here we go. the funny thing too is I know this guy has an ear, right? I mean, I gotta do something about his. Maybe I'll draw an ear. We'll see. We'll see. So here, like, like I'm gonna have to have a couple confusing panel breaks here. There we go. What we got? 100%. 100 artwork since the 90s has been sterile. Yeah. Yeah, it's. I think sterile's a good way of addressing it. Sounds a little official too, doesn't it? But yeah, what we got? What we got? Yeah, I mean, it was years before I even bought anything. I mean, I kind of pick up Red Room when I see it, and I don't know. There's not a lot about Red Room that makes me want to read it, but I go to the comic shop mostly looking for old stuff. I always peruse the sections. Both of the shops around me though have really good collected like miniseries sections. So like they'll just have like a couple long boxes of just miniseries that they've or like a little bit like micro runs of books, like Cable, like 12 through like 17 or something. And like that's the stuff I'll pick up because those are like dirt cheap. But it's been so long since I saw like a piece of artwork from a comic shop that I knew I had to have it. I knew I had to like study it. Like I couldn't let it. And I used to all the time. It's like I would buy books, and it's like the artwork. Like I couldn't let it leave my sight. And that's really what I think the industry, in some weird way, rejected. Like it took all the good stuff from the 90s and it just rejected them. And it just rewrote the 90s as something else. And some of it too, look, some of the blame does go to Image Comics because Image Comics made it very confusing for creators to create for the big two. They made it very confusing. It was almost like like they made it uncool to create for Marvel Comics because Marvel was going to steal your stuff and not give you any money. But if you're building a name for yourself, like you have to create new characters and you have to be known as a person that created that character. It's a part of your like internal marketing and external marketing for having a career in comics. Yeah, Image was more bad for comics for those reasons than any late book. Because it doesn't matter what people say. Any of those Image late books still fucking sold. They still sold. It doesn't matter. Means nothing if they were late. And that's it. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Yeah, we're going to give him all this hair here. We're going to black out the corners. Yeah, I am sorry. Why is, like, what the hell am I doing? Like, I forget that I can move the fucking camera. But no, I mean, I would say even now, it is my like prime directive to like draw in the 90s style, to maintain the 90s, like all of that. It is my mission. But here we go. So like look, we're using the hair, we're using the shadow, we're going from right to left. We're blocking, like we're blocking it out. Like we go from open negative to shadow, focal point here, and then we're using the hair, we're using some of the cropping to create a moment of movement and action. Yeah, 90s New Warriors. You know what the funny thing is too? When when way back when the MCU was first kicking off, and the way how I was just talking about this on my podcast uh for my Black Widow episode that I should be, I'll drop that after this. But yeah, like there was like this energy around the Marvel cinema. I'm going to get to the New Warriors where we're going to circular here, but like there was such an energy with the first earlier films of like Black Widow showing up in Iron Man 2, Tony Stark showing up in the end credits of Incredible Hulk, Hawkeye for Thor. And I really thought that they were going to do a long play, that they were knowing how the rights were working, that they were going to work in the New Warriors into Thor eventually, because their first appearance is in Thor. And I always felt like if they had the rights for the New Warriors is their Teen Titans. It really is. And Mark Bagley on those books, dude, I always liked Rage. I thought the Rage stuff that came in later was cool. So I don't know. I mean, I know some of the, like the core, right? Like the hardcore people still respond to the New Warriors. But geez, man, like I think there was a time where if you told me that the New Warriors would kind of go down the memory hole, I would have thought you were fucking crazy. But look at where we are. Look at where we are now. But no, Namorta, Nova, like all of that too. Like it's such a good lineup. Such a good lineup. And who was that? Spider-Man, right? Good old Webhead had there was like a Rocket Racer. I think he might have been called Rocket Racer, but he was a skateboarder. Like, did he ever cross paths with Night Thrasher? I always felt like that was like a team up that had to happen. Never happened. Here we go. And then we see. Look, we're pushing. So look, good through line here for our action. But yeah, '90s New Warriors is look. I even like the Force Works. I always thought Force Works was like if Tony Stark were to ever have a team, because I really like the separation of like the Avengers, because you kind of had Avengers, you had Avengers West Coast, then you had Tony Stark's fraction that was Force Works that later, right, was used in the '90s Iron Man cartoon, right, because they had Sentry in that and Scarlet Witch. But I always liked the idea of Tony Stark having his own unit that was somewhat of a Avengers based unit. And like I guess like the Marvel movies just took, like they kind of took all that away, and now like there's like this composite of what the Avengers have to be, and it just cannot waver, just doesn't waver. So we got this. So this is 50-50 when it comes to oppose. I got to show off a little bit more of the action, a little bit better. So I got to pull the camera away. We're a little bit too close for that, because he's supposed to be crashing through a roof. Here we go. Well, everything here, it's like those eyes and like that hair, like zip. Yeah, see, so we want this to be a little bit. We definitely. Ugh, too many alarms. Dude, people are going YOLO on Twitter right now, but I love it. But keep in mind too, we Wildcat here he is like a big. Like he's just like a big dude. So Sometimes there is too much to draw per page. It's just kind of like, like your mind just goes crazy. And even this here, like I don't have his, I just don't have the pose yet. Looking for that pose. Yeah, like you just kind of you keep going, like you try and just find that one combination, like that one line that will fix the problem for you. And that's all it is. It's just like a series of problems, problem solving, like all of it. Like you just need that one solution. So annoying. Well, I am happy with this right here. So, all right, people. Look, I think we did good. Maybe. We'll keep going. Thanks for hanging out. I know I usually I've been trying to do 2 hours consistently. Soon I might just keep doing Monday night drawing calls all week. I really just feel like drawing this week, mostly because I have a lot of drawing to do. But be on the lookout. I'll be updating the inks for this. We'll take it from there. People, I love you so much. Thank you.